Alright, what's up guys? It's Josh from NARP Fitness back on the channel with a video about hypertrophy. Before we get into the video, let's talk about the channel as of lately and moving forward into the fall. So, the channel right now in the summertime is going to not be getting very much content because me and Jared are both very busy with things that we're doing and we're not together to make videos, which makes it a lot harder for us to communicate and create videos. So, for right now, I'm going to try and post once a week to the channel, and we'll see if Jared is able to. I know he's very busy with the internship he has this summer, so he might not be able to post at all, but we'll see later in the summer how his time works out and if he's able to get a couple up. Like I said, it's just kind of, we're just seeing how it works right now, but once the fall hits, that's whenever everything's going to really take off for the channel. That's whenever we're going to have all those fun videos we're talking about, Q&As, all those things, because we'll be together to make videos. So stay tuned for that. But for now, once a week on some interesting topics with fitness and training. So, and with me, I know you guys aren't going to enjoy seeing my face all summer, but you're going to have to deal with it. So, but now let's talk about hypertrophy training. Okay, so to build muscle, we need to understand what muscle protein synthesis is. It's very hard for me to say, I don't know why, but just bear with me, okay? So, muscle protein synthesis is where protein is used to build muscle. Pretty simple. Now, the other side too, which is muscle protein breakdown, where it sounds exactly what the name says, where muscle gets broken down. And these both work together to maintain your muscle size. So muscle protein synthesis is used to build muscle, and muscle protein breakdown is used to break down muscle. Well, if these are both occurring at the same rate, then your muscles will maintain the same size. If muscle protein breakdown is higher than muscle protein synthesis, then you're going to lose muscle mass. But if it's the other way around, if muscle protein synthesis is higher than the muscle protein breakdown, you're going to be gaining muscle. And so we want to make sure that muscle protein synthesis is higher than muscle protein breakdown. And there's ways we can do that, and we do that through training, we do that through your diet. So before we keep going in the video, let's just make this clear. Muscle protein synthesis is also called hypertrophy, which is probably where you heard the name from. I'm sure you all heard hypertrophy, and that is the simple way of saying muscle protein synthesis, because as you can see, it's really hard to say. And I'm going to start using hypertrophy now because I'm not saying that mouthful anymore. But hypertrophy training, it's not that complex. It's just really understanding ranges for your reps, your intensity, and for your rest periods, okay? Because those things do matter whenever you're training. So first we're going to talk about intensity. So intensity in the lifting world basically means the amount of weight that you are doing whenever you're exercising. Now we determine intensity by your 1 rep max. We call this relative intensity. So someone with 135-pound bench doing 70% of their max is going to be different weight than someone who has a 225 bench doing 70% of their max. But if they're both at the same level of difficulty, level of intensity, because it's all relative to themselves. So we call that relative intensity. Now, from a study from the University of Birmingham, showed that workouts that are 40% of the 1 rep max or lower does not have any effect on hypertrophy. However, workouts over 60% of the 1 rep max tripled the rate of hypertrophy. So 60% is kind of like the golden area. Well, 60 to 70%. We don't want to go over 70% because that's going to be strength training. But 60 to 70% of 1 rep max is really the golden area for hypertrophy training, for muscle building training. Okay, now let's go in the rep ranges. Rep ranges also matter because if your intensity is 60 to 70%, you're not going to be able to do 15 to 20 reps. So the range of reps that you need to be doing is from 6 to 12. Okay, if you do over 15, that's endurance training, and anyways, you're not going to be able to do 60 to 70% of your max with over 15 reps. It's just not going to happen. You're going to be like struggling with it. So, and also we don't want to train endurance. On the flip side, less than 6 reps train strength, and we don't want to train that either. I mean, it's always good to train strength and endurance, but we're focusing on hypertrophy training, so we don't want to do any strength training. So the reason why 6 to 12 reps works so well is because these rep ranges are the best for breaking down your muscle fibers. And that's what we need to create hypertrophy. Whenever the muscle breaks down, muscle protein synthesis is used to build back up those gaps that the tears make, which in turn makes the muscle bigger. Okay, so 6 to 12 reps maximizes those muscle tears, and which is why we use 6 to 12 reps. Now, last thing we want to talk about is rest periods between sets. So this also matters, and it has more to do with your hormones. 1 to 2 minutes have been found to increase your anabolic hormones the most. So between sets, you want to wait 1 to 2 minutes. If you're doing strength training, you want to wait longer because you're going to be doing higher intensity weight, so you want to have your muscles to be primed and ready to go as best as possible for each set. And if you want to do endurance training, it's going to be less than a minute. So hypertrophy training, really the golden areas for all those things is 6 to 12 reps, 60 to 70% of your max, and 1 to 2 minutes between between sets. Alright, next we're going to be talking about diet. Now, diet's a very tough thing to talk about because every person is different and every person's goals is different. So, and there's so many things you can be eating, right? But I'm going to make it very simple and just talk about protein. Now, obviously, to build muscle, you need to eat protein. But why? Well, because protein is needed for hypertrophy. And what's more important is the amount of protein you're eating and when you eat it, okay? Studies have found, same study from the University of Birmingham, found that eating 10 grams of protein after you exercise had no effect on hypertrophy. 20 grams of protein after you exercise had a 47% increase in hypertrophy and muscle protein synthesis. And 40 grams of protein had a 57% increase on hypertrophy. Now I know what you're thinking. You're going to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to eat 50 to 60 grams of protein as I work out and maximize my hypertrophy. Well, that isn't actually how it works, because in a study with a 40 gram protein intake, they found an increase of urea, which is basically your body turning protein in and taking it and putting it in your pee because it isn't needed, right? So your body has an excess of protein that is not needed, and it's going to get rid of it. And that's what urea is. It's getting rid of protein from your body. So really, you can't, at least you should, and you can, but you shouldn't eat more than 40 grams of protein after you work out because your body doesn't need it. It's not going to use it. So now, it's not going to increase your hypertrophy because it's not being used, right? So there's no point in eating more than 40. So the rule is 20 to 40 grams of protein after you work out, and that's going to be really it for your diet. Now, obviously, your diet can be more lucrative and more, in depth than that. But if you want to keep it simple, 20 to 40 grams of protein after you work out should be enough to increase your hypertrophy quite a bit. All right, so to put it all together, you need training 6 to 12 reps in each set, 60 to 70% of your 1 rep max for intensity, and 1 to 2 minutes rest between sets. And outside the weight room, you need to be eating at least 20 to 40 grams of protein after your exercise. And that's going to help maximize your muscle growth. Alright, that's all I have for you guys for hypertrophy training. Hopefully you guys learned something from watching the video. I learned a lot from making this video. So back to what I said at the beginning of the video. I'm trying to post once a week on the channel. Once again, we have Instagram and TikTok that we're going to be posting to as well. If you are looking forward to the content in fall and even right now, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all and working with you all and making videos for you guys and entertaining you guys moving forward. So my name's Josh from NARP Club Fitness, and stay NARP and proud, and I will see you guys next time I upload.